True story. On Christmas Eve 2015, there was a bright full moon in the sky. And as I looked out the window that night before I went to sleep, I looked at the moon and I prayed for my younger sister, Chrissy, because she was sitting in a chair in a hospital next to her husband who was dying because he needed an organ transplant and his health was failing and he had been taken off of the list for a potential donor. While other families were waking up listening to the sound of children running downstairs to open their Christmas presents, I was awakened by a phone call. And I was devastated because it was a family member calling me to tell me that my little sister Chrissy had died that morning as she sat in that chair next to her husband who was dying in that hospital. Her children were sitting next to her in that hospital and they woke up to their mother no longer there. I was about 9 years old when Chrissy was born, and we were very bonded. And as a child, I used to brush her hair and style it. One time I got a brush caught in her hair, and my mom just about killed me because Chrissy's hair was so long it was like down past her butt. But then after I got married at age 15 to a 32-year-old woman, and then I ran off to Chicago a year later, I didn't get to see my sister as much as I wanted to. The first thing I did in Chicago when I was working was to save up enough money to buy my sister a real Cabbage Patch doll and send it back to her in Eminence, Kentucky, our hometown. And she received it and she loved it and she kept it for many, many years. She absolutely loved me and our brother William, who was gay. She was never homophobic. She never had a problem with gay people at all. And she just accepted us and loved us for who we were, her big brothers. My sister Chrissy had been caring for my mother, and basically she ended up having to put my mother in a nursing home because she couldn't take care of her, and my mother's Alzheimer's was advancing at this time. And when I went to Chrissy's funeral, I sat next to my mom and my sister Chrissy's youngest son, and I looked him in the eyes and I hugged him and I told him I loved him and that I'll always be here if he ever needs me, and I will. I had already been 5 years into a 10-year depression at that point, and this was really the last time that I ever saw my family. Merry Christmas.